Hey, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Google Gemini to edit and transform your existing photos with one simple formula that's super easy to remember, and it's going to give you great results. Okay, so it's called the cost framework, and I'm going to pull it up right here. So feel free to take a screenshot. We got C for change, O for object, S for style, and T for tweaks. Now we're going to break this down so it actually makes sense, and then I'm also going to give you some real world examples so you can see it in action. All right, so let's break this down and start with C for change. So change is the big picture. What are you trying to change? There's always going to be some verb in there that indicates the change you're trying to do. Okay, so as an example, let's say this gentleman here with the gray t-shirt, you're trying to swap his shirt for a suit. In this case, the change is to swap, right? Another example would be, you see these trees in the background. If I want to remove the trees from the background, the change would be to remove. One more for you would be to add a Christmas vibe to this image, right? In this case, the change would be to add that seasonal vibe to the image. So fairly straightforward, easy to remember. Yeah, so that's C for change. Up next, we have O for object. And object is the exact thing that you want Google Gemini to touch or to change, okay? So you want to be specific. You want to point out exactly what you're trying to change, right? The object you're trying to change or the subject. And, being specific really helps Gemini lock into the correct pixels. So if we go back to the previous example where we swapped out the shirt for the suit jacket, you don't want to say, hey, swap out his clothes. You want to say, swap the gray t-shirt for the charcoal suit jacket attached in the second image. Or let's say if you had something you wanted to change from the background, you wouldn't say, hey, remove these items from the background. You would say, remove the lamppost behind the car, and that'll give you much better results. So that's pretty much it. That's O for object. All right, so up next we have S for style. And style is basically, how do you want that change you asked for to look? If you look at the image that's on the screen right now, there's the image has this really cool neon retro vibe and this lady standing next to a Lamborghini. If you asked Gemini to swap out that Lamborghini for, say, a sports bike, you don't want it to look like a cut and copy paste kind of deal, right? You want it to feel professional, very natural. And, asking Gemini to maintain that neon retro vibe will give you that more professional feel in the image that it's creating. Now, it may just do it on its own, but adding those controls helps you control the edits much better. Another example would be, say you found this really cool old photograph that's black and white, and you want to add color to the photo. Asking Gemini to maintain that natural film look preserves some of that authentic feel. These are the kind of things that would fall under style. And it's going to make more sense as we look at some of those real world examples. But the simplest way to think about it is how those changes that you wanted, how they show up in the image. Okay, so the last piece of this framework is T for tweaks. This one's important because this is where you protect everything else in the photo. The things that you want to keep the same, or the things that you want to target, for instance. For example, keep the skin tone the same, or don't change the hairstyle, keep the background lighting consistent, or, don't alter the face, or keep the proportions natural. And there are tons of tweaks that you can add, really. And it's these little constraints that stop Gemini from messing with parts of your image that you want untouched. And, to be perfectly honest, you may need to tweak this a couple of times. The first time the result may not be perfect, so you go back and forth, refine it a bit. But, under tweaks is where you would add those refinements. And you'll see you'll get much better results. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That is the cost framework. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get into a couple of examples so you can see it in action. All right, so the first example, I have a picture of me and my son here, and just for fun, I'm going to give us both beards. So this is the original image, and this is the prompt that I've used. So the change is to add a long realistic beard that looks natural on both of us. The object would be my face and my son's face. Style, make the beard match the current lighting, color tone, and style of the photo. Tweaks do not change our hair, facial features, expressions, clothing, or any other part of the image. Keep everything else exactly the same. Okay, and now you don't have to type it out in this exact format. You could just write it as one long sentence, but just make sure you hit those items in the cost framework. Okay, so once again, this is the image, and let's look at the change or the image that Gemini created. Look at that. I mean, wow. Look at this little cute beard. It's got a little white hair in there. My beard looks great. It goes with my clothing. I mean, wow. I didn't even really have to refine this too many times. I think this is the first or second attempt. Yeah, pretty incredible stuff. So that's the first example. Let's get into the next one. All right, so for the next example, we are going to look at a product image. So you can tell it's an image of a camera, obviously, but the background's pretty plain, just a white image. It looks nice, but the background is a little minimal, I would say. So let's say I'm creating marketing content for this camera. I want to change the background and add some accessories close by. Maybe I want to make the background more vibrant and pop out with geometric shapes and such. So let me show you the prompt that I used. So here for change, we have transformed the plain background into a vibrant modern marketing layout with bold colors and dynamic lighting. Add minimal photography accessories like a lens cap or a memory card placed neatly for context. Okay, the object in this case would be the background and the space around the camera, but not the camera itself. Style, bright, colorful, clean commercial style, use gradients or geometric shapes that make the product pop. Tweaks, do not change the camera's shape, details, reflections, branding, or shadows. Do not alter the lens. So yeah, very clear controls in place. Once again, this is the original image. Let's look at the marketing image that Gemini developed. Wow, look at that. Right? Just phenomenal. The camera looks exactly the same. We got the accessories beside it, colorful background, geometric shapes, even these really cool streaks I didn't ask for, but looks great. Like really powerful stuff. It's incredible what you can do in just a couple of minutes, and just start thinking like all the stuff that you can do from a marketing perspective if you sell products online. It's incredible. All right, so let's get into the next one. All right, so let's turn up the complexity a little bit. This is a picture of me standing next to a yellow cab, and there are a bunch of people in the background. It's a cool image. This is in Disney. There are quite a lot of people, like on my left side beside the cab, someone over here by this lamppost, in front of the shop, by my shoulder over here. So quite a lot of people. Okay, so let me show you the prompt that I used with Gemini, and then we can take a look at the results. So change, remove all the people from the photo so it looks like it's just me standing next to the yellow taxi. Objects, what am I trying to remove? The people on the left side, the people on the right side, the people in the background behind the car. Yeah, so style. Keep the background building, street, sky, and overall lighting exactly the same so everything blends naturally. Tweaks. Don't change me or the car. Don't change any colors, shadows, or details of the buildings or street. Okay, so let's take a look at the image before. Look at that. Look at, again, just notice all these people, right? To the right, in the background, by the post, in front of the store. And this is the result. This is just totally bananas. Like it took out everybody in the first attempt, right? People here, over here, beside the car, to the left, even the little people by my shoulder. I mean, wow. I have no idea how it's doing this. Like it is just insane. And yeah, just wild. Like look at the before picture again. So many people. And it took them all out. And kept all the other details. Bananas. All right, so let's get into the next one. All right, so let's continue to take up the complexity. In this next image, what I'm going to ask Gemini to do is to swap the colors of the car with the motorcycle. In addition to this, obviously while preserving all the details like the brand logo, all the text here, but I'm also going to have it paint the walls and to make the floor a black marble. And, preserve that angle of the photo, don't change any of the other details. So let's see how well it does. Okay, so I'm going to show you the prompt first. So swap the colors of the car and the motorcycle. The motorcycle should become gray with the same gold rims, and the car should become yellow. Objects, Only the body panels of the car and the motorcycle, so nothing else. Style, keep the exact same shapes, branding, reflection, and details of both vehicles. Do not change the design features. Make the garage look more premium with black walls and a clean black marble floor, while keeping the lighting and the angle the same. Okay, tweaks. Do not change the camera angle, the composition, the position of the car or the motorcycle, the rims, the logos, or any part of the bike or car except the color. Keep everything else exactly the same. So once again, that's the before picture. Take a look at, the rims, the shadows. There's no reflections here. The walls look pretty beat up. Take special note to how the branding shows up here, the Yamaha text. So it's got to change all of this as well, right? So let's see how well it does. So here's the edited image. Like, wow. Look at the logo. Perfect. Still got all the branding. Rims are the same. Look at the car here. Look at the floor, black marble, because we said luxury premium feel. It got rid of those tires here. But you can see a reflection now because it's marble, right? You can even see the reflection of the door. What? You see the reflection of the bike. The walls are black. Everything else looks the same. The lights are on, right? Just incredible stuff. It's so powerful, right? And these were quite a few changes. So I did have to go back and forth and tweak it a couple of times before I came to this prompt. But the crazy part is that you can do so much now. Yeah, just incredible. All right, so let's move to the next example. The next one's a fun one and also very useful. So I found this Sherwani online and I'm like, how am I going to look in it? Right. So the first thing I did is I found a few more product images and I uploaded them to Gemini along with my image. Okay, so this is an image of me, and then there are 3 images of the product or somebody else wearing the product. And here's a prompt. Change my suit and shirt with the Sherwani from the reference images. Object, my suit and shirt only. Style, keep the exact same pose as the first reference image, body position, camera angle, and lighting is the original image. Make the Sherwani fit naturally over my existing pose. Tweaks, do not change my pose in the reference image, body position, face, hairstyle, expression, or proportions. Do not move my arms, hands, shoulders, or head. Do not change the background or framing. Only replace the clothing. So the reason why I had to write this a few times is because it was messing up, right? So these were the controls and refinements I was talking about. So once again, here is the image of me, and this is the product that I'm trying to wear. And look at that. Looks like I need to buy a Sherwani. But yeah, it did a pretty good job. Fitting is great. It did change my hand position in my hand a little bit, but I mean, overall, it's just really good. Very good. Yeah, so, think of all the things you could do, right? Say you're selling products online and maybe you're selling clothes online, but you don't have any model or subjects to wear your product. Now you can just take images of the product and then have AI create those product images for you. Pretty powerful, several use cases, okay? For the next image, so me and my wife wanted to use our family portrait photo for Christmas cards. So we wanted to give it a little bit of a Christmassy vibe and maybe put some Christmas sweaters on. So now we don't need to go take new photos. So here's the prompt that we used. Change our outfits into Christmas sweaters and turn this into a Christmas card. The object, the clothing of me, my wife, and my child. Style, festive Christmas sweaters in a warm holiday colors. Keep the studio lighting, background, and overall look the same. Add a soft, cozy Christmas feel. Tweaks, do not change our pose, facial expressions, body positions, or camera angle. Do not change our faces, hairstyles, or proportions. Keep the background clean and natural. You could remove the bow tie from the image and add the text Merry Christmas from us to you in a simple, elegant font. I also put a reminder here to not change our facial expressions because it was making a couple of mistakes, so I had to give it quite a few tweaks. Let us take a look at the results. So this is the original image once again, and here is the edited image. Look at that. Did such a good job. Gave us all Christmas sweaters, great Christmas vibes. Also put the text here, Merry Christmas from us to you. It didn't screw up the spelling, which is huge. So, you know, all in all, pretty phenomenal job. But I wanted to push it a little bit more, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So I found this Christmas sweater online that I really liked. It's for the Smiths family, and it has a couple of characters on it. So I wanted to replace them with my family, and I used Google Gemini for that and the cost framework. And this is the sweater that it came up with. Okay, so it did a pretty good job. Now, what I wanted to do was use that sweater in our Christmas card. Like, I want us to be wearing that sweater. So a little complicated. I did have to do it in two parts. First, I did the sweater, and then this is the prompt that I used. So I'm going to go over really quickly. So I ask it to change our tops in the first image to the Christmas sweater in the second image and turn the photo into a Christmas card. Okay, so the object to change would be the tops of me, my wife, and my child in the first image into all of us wearing the Christmas sweater picture that I attached. Should have been Christmas sweater, but that's okay. Fit the Christmas sweater naturally on each of us. Add a warm, festive Christmas vibe to the image. Add the text Merry Christmas from us to you in a clean, simple font. Tweaks: do not change our faces, expression, skin tone, ethnicity. Do not change our pose, body position, or camera angle. Do not change our hairstyle, proportion, or the background. Must use the sweater which I attached. Do not use random designs. Only change the tops and the Christmas text and vibe. Everything else must stay the same. These tweaks, some of these are restrictions which I've had to add because, you know, it's a fairly complex task, and I've had to add these refinements. I'm sure if I kept adding more refinements, I could get to a better place, but let me show you what I got. So once again, this is the original image. This is the Christmas sweater. And this is us wearing the sweater. I mean, this is so cool. Look at the background. It got the text right. Now, if you look at the sweater, it did make a couple mistakes, like around the elbow. It looks a little poorly edited. Even the elbow here is a little fuzzy. I'm still wearing my shirt, and it put the Christmas sweater over my wife's shirt. But all in all, it did a pretty phenomenal job. Like, if you look at the sweater, and this is another change it made on its own, is my sweater has me and my son. Her sweater has her and our son, and he seems to be wearing all of ours. So a cool little change it made on its own. I mean, this is just wild stuff. And again, I'm sure if I kept adding refinements, I could get to a better place. It's just amazing that I can do all of this in Google Gemini in a matter of, 10 or 15 minutes. That includes all the refinements. So I'd like to hear how you guys use Google Gemini. Do leave some comments with use cases. Others can get ideas. And that's it. It's a wrap. My name is Rahul. If you found this video helpful, do like and subscribe. It really goes a long way. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year from my family to yours.